Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's race weekend again and I can't wait to get into it with you. We've got new regulations, a second quali round, a second quali race that is going to be really exciting, more fun for us, more racing for the drivers. I can't wait to talk about it. Let's get into it. Welcome. Formula One has brought some new regulations leading up to the Silverstone race, and that is there is going to be what they're calling a sprint quali. So this is going to be a second qualification race. The drivers will do the old Q1, Q2, Q3 on Fridays. The results of the Q1, Q2, Q3 race will determine the grid positions for the sprint quali on Saturday. In the sprint quali, the drivers will race for 100 kilometers, which is maybe about 30 minutes. In Silverstone, that's going to be about 17 laps. And the results of this race will then determine the grid starting positions for the Sunday race. It's really going to be exciting. You can see that we're going to have more racing. So we'll now have 3 races. We'll have the Q1, Q2, Q3 on Friday, and then we'll have the sprint quali on Saturday, and then we'll have the main race on Sunday. The other thing about this sprint quali is that drivers are going to get points from it. The first 3 drivers will get points. Driver number 1 will get 3 points, the second driver will get 2 points, and the third driver will get 1 point, and these will be added to their championship points. There will only be one podium ceremony, and that will be on Sundays after the main event. And that is when you'll have the singing of the national anthem and the handing over of the trophies. And yeah, so it's going to be big. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I've always wondered about the Formula One qualifying format, the Q1, Q2, Q3. It's never made much sense to me. And if someone crashes, then everyone else's quali is affected. And if that's not the case, sometimes some drivers benefit from someone else's stall. You know, if a driver is going very fast ahead of them, then they can benefit from that. And that's really not fair. I've always thought that drivers should qualify the same way runners do, right? All of them go out there at once and then decide whoever comes out fast wins. And, you know, there is so much that is out of the control of the drivers in terms of one driver could benefit from another driver's stall. If one driver is, you know, doing their flying lap ahead of one driver, then the driver right behind can benefit from that. Just like Charles Leclerc benefited from Valtteri's a while back. And then, you know, Valtteri had no toe, and then you have to decide, should I go fast, should I go last? So there are a lot of decisions that depend on other drivers when they do the Q1, Q2, Q3 races. And personally, I'm of the view that each car should go out there and set its own time alone on the track. No one benefits from anyone's toe. If a driver crashes, that's their problem. Everyone else can set their own quali time. But that's my view. If you disagree, let me know in the comments below. Looks like Formula One has been thinking as well. You know, the guys up there have been thinking, and they've decided that they want to add a race to it. So there'll be 2 practice sessions, one on Friday and one on Saturday. Each of these practice sessions will be an hour. And then after the first practice session on Friday, you'll have the qualis, Q1, Q2, Q3, you know, and it will be same as before. You know, the first 5 drivers drop off, or the last 5, and then, you know, it goes to 15 and then goes to 10. The results from that Friday Q1, Q2, Q3 race determines the grid starting positions for the sprint quali on Saturday. So as I've mentioned, on Saturday, they'll also be having another practice session, 1 hour. And then later in the evening, you know, they've made sure to put the sprint quali later in the evening. Not too late, but in the evening, so that people that have to go to work and whatnot can also get to watch the race. So Saturday evenings, you'll have the sprint quali, and yeah, that will be 100 kilometers. So I think it's going to be a lot of racing for the guys, the drivers, and it's going to be more race for us to watch. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. I hope so. I'm really looking forward to it. Previously, drivers had to start Sunday's race with whatever compound tire they qualified with in Q2. But that has now changed. On Sundays, drivers will be able to start with whatever compound tire they want. However, the sprint quali has got to be run on soft tires. So it's going to be only soft tires on Saturdays, no differences. Everyone will run softs, and I guess get to see how it performs. And then on Sunday, they can decide if they want to use softs or, medium or hard compound, whatever. So that is a change in the tire regulations that's going to make things interesting. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. I think these new regulations are going to be really interesting. They'll be really good for some and really bad for others. We're now going to really be able to tell who can race and who cannot, because things can change. Whoever gets pole on Friday after the Q3 race may not necessarily be the person that starts in pole on Sunday, because things may go differently during the sprint quali. And should you be unlucky during the sprint quali and maybe your car crashes or anything happens that stops you from being in the top 10 or at your desired grid position after the sprint quali, then that makes things difficult for Sunday, because even if a driver was in the top 3 on Friday after Q3, that does not mean that they'll be in the top 3 on Sunday, because a lot can happen between Friday and Sunday morning. The other challenge is that the engineers are going to have a tough time, I imagine, getting the cars ready, because now there is an additional race, and every after race, the cars have to be taken into park farming so that tests can be run to check the legality of the cars, which means that the engineers have a lot less time with the cars to sort of fine-tune them and get them ready for Sunday's race. So that's going to be another interesting factor that will probably affect the performance of some of these drivers. We're going to have to see how that turns out. Personally, I'm really excited. I think this is going to be good for Lewis, because, we all know he's a good driver. There are some haters out there, but we will see. We all love a race. We all love a competition. Let's see how it goes. For us, the fans, we get to watch more race. So one other thing about the sprint quali, pitting is not mandatory. So if a driver if a team decides that they can run the car for 100 kilometers without pitting, they'll be free to do that. I have a feeling that some of the drivers will pit anyway. Well, one, mechanical issues, something may happen that will force a driver to pit, or maybe a strategy. Some people may have a strategy that has them pitting. However, pitting will not be mandatory, because in the Sunday race, pitting is mandatory. But in the sprint quali on Saturdays, the drivers do not have to pit if the team believes that they don't need to pit. So that's also going to be interesting to see, 100 kilometers, no pitting. The sprint quali format will not be done for every race. It's not possible to do on some racetracks, for example, Monaco, where it's hard to overtake. I wonder if they'll do it in Baku. I think Baku is another tough racetrack to overtake. So they probably won't be doing that as well. For now, Formula One has said that they'll be doing these sprint qualis for certain races, and Silverstone is going to be the first one. So probably we'll see it being done in Monza as well, and some of the other larger racetracks where it's possible to overtake. I do not think it's going to be done for the street races. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know about Singapore, if it's going to be done there, but let's wait and see. But for now, it's known that sprint quali will not be for all racetracks. So yeah, I guess it will be one of those races that the teams look forward to and prepare for, because it's done differently and you can win extra points, because depending on what happens at Silverstone this weekend, Lewis and the other guys may win some extra points, and Lewis really needs that right now. I think this new format is going to weed out drivers that can win a Formula One race and those that can race, but not so much Formula One winners. My opinion of this is also that Formula One is trying to level the playing ground for the smaller teams, so that things are less predictable, so that we have tighter competition between all the teams. And because previously it's been that you can pretty much predict the first 3 teams that are going to win. It's been Mercedes with Lewis and Bottas. And then you've had Red Bull with Max and, now Sergio, his partner. And recently you've had Lando Norris, getting in there. So it's been pretty predictable. And now they're changing up things. So in addition to limiting the budgets of how much the teams can invest into their cars and changing a lot of other things, they've now introduced this sprint quali, which is going to sort of even out the competition, make things less predictable and make it exciting for the fans. It's going to be probably tougher for the drivers as well. Of course, they love racing, so I'm sure they'll be happy to have another race to race. But it's going to be a lot more work for them. That's it from me. Let me know what you think of the new sprint quali. What do you think of the rules? How would you like to see quali changed in the future? Are you looking forward to it? Do you think it makes sense or not? Share with me in the comment section below. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. See you in the next one. Don't be rude. Bye.